This eBay motherboard turned out to be dead on arrival, and I was determined to get it working. It had blown capacitors, bent CPU pins, and a dead CMOS battery. No matter what I tried, it just seemed like this thing wouldn't start and it wouldn't post. And I had almost given up, and a year later, then this happened. Hey, we're getting stuff. I bought this motherboard via eBay, and it was listed as new. But when I opened the box, I saw it was definitely not new. Someone had powered this thing up at least once. Some of the capacitors on this motherboard were a little spicy, and they needed replacing. Given the capacitors had visibly failed, I was determined to get this thing fixed. I took photographs of all the original capacitors and then got to work. I ultimately decided only to replace 3. Which were near the power supply, which had clearly gone bad. I later got an ESR tester, which helped to confirm that yes, the caps I pulled were bad or failing. Everything else that I tested on the board seemed to be reasonable. I will have you know I did terrible things to this motherboard, and I was pretty sure I had broken a trace or did something, scratched the back while using the soldering iron, or, I was going to put a cap in backwards or something, but I figured, you know what? I'm committed. I'm doing this. Let's see what happens. With the most obvious bad capacitors replaced, I then got a CPU. This was also from eBay and was $7. I went to install the CPU, and of course, it didn't fit. So I took a look underneath and saw a couple of rows of bent pins. Oh boy, one more thing. So again, pull out the eyelash tweezers, and I was able to straighten out, best I could tell, a couple rows of pins. And I was very happy when I tried putting the CPU back in the socket, and yay, it worked. After installing the CPU, it was a pretty straightforward matter of putting on the thermal paste and then attaching the heatsink. I'm calling this an open air test bench, and I was able to get things to power on, and the CPU fan would spin, but no post, no beep, no sound. And I realized there was no PC speaker, so I attached my own little buzzer and tried again, and still I wasn't getting a beep. So I thought, all right, reset the CMOS, put a brand new battery in. I got a new BIOS just in case, which I didn't end up ever switching in. And then over the holidays, a former roommate suggested, hey, you should get one of those postcards, the analyzer cards. And I thought, you know what? That's worth doing. This is going to help me figure out exactly where things are failing. So I got one. You'll never guess what happened next.
Okay, this power supply switched on. So I'm going to power this up. That should light this up. Hopefully not light it up in the sense of sparks or fire. Please. Okay, we've got an LED. That's good. Try this button. I haven't tested this since last year, but let's just see if we get anything. Forget if it's 1 or 2. 2. Hey, we got something. Okay, what does that mean? To the graph, to the chart, Batman. Drawing 21 watts apparently too. Okay, let me turn this off, make sure nothing's getting toasty. Amateur hour over here. I unscrewed the screws from this CPU block, lifted the whole thing up, and it just pulled the CPU right out of the socket. So there's that. Whoops. I'm not even sure if that's locked. So maybe that has something to do with this whole non-booting situation. Okay, I can't believe that. I put the CPU in and I guess I didn't lock it in place. Because I'm a big dumb idiot. So maybe it wasn't even making a connection. So I don't know, let's just see if we get something different now. Because nothing else is working, so why not? Hey, we're getting stuff. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off right away and screw that down. Oh my God. Okay, the CPU has been screwed in and locked down. I cannot believe I
missed that. That is really embarrassing. But at least I know the CPU is doing something, running some code. And we'll just see what we get on the postcard here. All right, wish me luck. Wait for our power. There's our LED on the motherboard. Okay. Yes! Awesome. That's the first time I got a beep. I will take it. That's fantastic. So the takeaway here is I had all of this basically working last year after I replaced the bad capacitors and fixed the CPU pins. This thing was good. And I can't believe it, but I guess I just somehow took the CPU out, poked around, looked at it, put it back in, and didn't lock it in place. So it wasn't electrically connected to the motherboard. Whoops. I mean, there you go. So I'm very happy. I am unusually excited about this one because this was a battle. And being refunded for this $65 motherboard, getting a $7 CPU, you know, with the bent pins, going through all the work, troubleshooting the stuff, getting the gear. Frankly, I'm delighted that I won this one. I just wish it didn't take me over a year to get to this point. But hey, sometimes things take time. And there it is. That's my story.